Scientists have developed a promising new compound to treat tuberculosis, and it could be the breakthrough needed for the deadliest infectious disease in the world.
The study published in Nature last month was led in part by Scripps Research. And joining us now live in the studio is Dr. McNamara, the Senior Director of Infectious Disease at Scripps Research, and he has more on the findings tonight. Great to see you, Dr. McNamara.
Gosh, it's really nice to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us an idea of what you guys worked on, where we are in the process. I think you were telling us there's only a few of these new drugs that have even come out in recent years.
Exactly. So the crux of the issue here with TB is, to me, is two key issues. One is over the last 25 years, there's only been 3 drugs that have come through. 2 of those are related, so they don't really count. It's just really 2. The second is drug resistance. And so the bacteria are very, very good at mutating and overcoming those drugs. So the real problem is that we have new patients with TB being treated with old drugs. And those drugs are going to be less and less effective over time as you start to come across those mutant bacteria. So that's why we're excited by this compound. It is completely active against all those drug-resistant bacteria, and it's just one of the great properties of it.
Let's talk about tuberculosis,
Yes.
and how it affects the body, and really just where people would be more likely to get it.
Yes, and so we don't see much of it here in San Diego. Last year's 247 cases. And I think recently there's some exposures in high school and even homeless shelters. The patients that we really target are those in Africa and Southeast Asia. And so still, this is a global disease and it affects everybody, and we still monitor here, but that's where the biggest impact is.
Give us an idea of something that is so infectious and so dangerous. Why there haven't been more drugs or more efforts to try to find something to fight it, and ultimately what happens if you're able to, if you can eradicate it, it'll be gone forever, right?
Right. So I think to your first question is money. There's not profit to be had in creating TB drugs. And that's the main driver to science. For good or bad, we're a capitalist society. So you have to have great investors, and for me, it's the Gates Foundation that makes this investment that's willing to put the money down and other people to move it forward. So to me, that's the biggest crux and the biggest limitation.
So typically, it's treated with antibiotics. Let's talk a little bit about this compound that you've found, and is there a possibility that it could lose its effectiveness? Yes, it can. It will be tougher, and I'll tell you why. Let me give a little analogy when it comes to drugs and drug targets is like a lock and a key. Maybe you've heard this before. The drug target's like a lock. The inhibitor itself is like a key. You put it in there, and only the specific key will work and fit in that lock, right? What we made is a lock that has a covalent warhead. And so this is like putting crazy glue onto the key. So now when you put that key into the lock, and you try to pull it out, it's glued, it's fused, and you've just basically killed the lock, right? So that's what we're doing. We're killing the target in the cell, and as a result, it's an essential protein that builds the cell wall. The bacterium can't survive anymore because it can't build that cell wall. So that's the key here.
Give us an idea of what went into this research. How long, how many people, what it was like when you feel like you finally broke through.
Yes, this started with Barry Sharpless, 2-time Nobel laureate. He's also at Scripps Research. He's like, hey, I got this idea. I got this great chemistry. Let's apply this to TB. Said, okay, let's test them. We did. That was in about 2018. Okay. So here we are, 7 years later, and we have a compound that's still preclinical. It's not in the clinic, but it's a long journey. We have 40+ authors on the paper. That's just a sampling of the people that contributed. There's multiple organizations, and I'd say, like 50, 60, 70+ people that have touched this compound. And to me, this is the beauty of infectious disease, the research community, is people tend to come together, collaborate to put resources to help expedite new medicines. So,
the greatest minds.
Yes.
So is it going to be an oral tablet or things like that, and when will it be available?
Yes, it's oral. Everything we do is oral, particularly, as I mentioned, Africa is a target. You want something that can sit on a shelf at room temperature for years, and you want it to be cheap, so that means an oral drug. If we're lucky enough to get this into the clinic, it's going to be 7 to 9 years from the time it gets approved. So there's a lot of hurdles.
Yeah. How many people get TB a year? How many people die from it?
Yeah, great question. So 10 million new cases of TB every year, over 1 million deaths every year on TB. So this is why it's an urgent need here. We're kind of I want to say, protected from it in the United States and other developed countries, less so in other parts of the world.
Is there any hope to, like, I mean, like we saw with COVID, like fast track this thing? I mean, if you have something, you feel like you found it, another 7 to 9 years.
That is
7 to 9 million.
No, that's the toughest part.
It's a great question. You just there's a regulatory process, and you just have to follow that process to make sure it's safe and that you have the right formulation, the right combo, because this is always given in a cocktail, and that you're dosing the right levels. It's going to be efficacious. And to do it right, it just takes that amount of time. That's the way it is.
All right, Dr. McNamara, congratulations.
Thank you so
much. Good work.
You.
We appreciate you coming in to talk to us about it, and hopefully it changes the world in a really good way.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back here on the Fox 5 News at 7:30.